Oh yeah, oh, don't take her love from my arms. Oh, 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 don't leave me now, for her love belongs to you.
It's time for Tyrone Golden Eagle basketball on WTRN. Listen to the game on the air or on the internet at WTRNradio.com and on the WTRN app. Golden Eagle basketball on WTRN is brought to you by
Tyrone Tire and Automotive, Community Pharmacy, Justin Reeder Tree Harvesting, Appalachian Running Company, and by Patterson Automotive.
Now, Tyrone Golden Eagle basketball on WTRN.
Welcome to the Tyrone High School Gymnasium. I am Dave Shannon. That guy over there is Lou Seidel. And we are set to bring you the semifinal action toward the District 6 championship between the Tyrone Golden Eagles and the Bedford Bison. And I do want to thank additional sponsors on board here for the postseason. That includes Gio's Barbecue and Long's Field Service. Lou, before we get into this upcoming game between these two boys teams, I do want to recap what happened with the girls game. We have sincere apologies to everyone over the technical difficulties that we had with our broadcast of the girls game, as that completely fell apart. You never know what gremlins, after you don't use something for a while, I guess, get into the system, and apparently that's what happened to us the last time we had used that system, and the system we're on right now. The last time we had used it was from Penns Valley High School on Thursday, 2 Thursdays ago, and never had it back out again until we tried to bring you the girls game this afternoon, and it just did not want to work. Fortunately, we've had some engineering folks go and take a look at it and make sure it is running properly. Bottom line is the Lady Eagles won the game by a score of 66-38, and taking a look at the scoring for Tyrone in that game, Stephanie Ramsey, the three-point show, as she had 15 in the first half, all from beyond the arc, added another one from beyond the arc in the third quarter, and then finished up with a pair from the foul line for her 20. Emma Getz had 10 in the first half, and then she found her three-point range, had a couple of trips to the line, converted all that stuff, and ended up with 19 in the game. Now, Chesney Saltzgiver is not the person that I think Coach Rhodes depends on for offense, but Chesney, from the foul line, was a perfect 6 for 6 in the second half and ended up with 6 points. Then it was Jada Parker, who once again came on strong in the second half. She had 4 in the first half, 11 in the second half for her 15. And we had Caitlin Gibbons, who started out strong and then drew the attention of the Central Cambria Red Devils. She was able to put up 6 before the defense changed and really shut her down.
They did. It was a well-played ball game, very unselfish basketball, and the Lady Golden Eagles will move on with an excellent win this afternoon. And we're getting ready for a great contest here in the second game of the afternoon, early evening, Dave, when the Bisons of Bedford High School take on our very own Golden Eagles of Tyrone.
And a big win just the other night on Wednesday, as a matter of fact, for Bedford when they took on Penn Cambria. And what an ending to the game as Mercury Swaim steps up at the end of the game and hits a three-point shot at the buzzer, and they walk away with a 45-44 victory over Penn Cambria. Quite an ending to that game.
Right, and they came in as the 4th seed, and Penn Cambria got the shock of their life with that shot. And Mercury Swaim, good athlete, all-around athlete, excellent football player as well. And we're going to notice some of that athleticism here this evening as they take on the Golden Eagles.
And so it'll be the continuing job of Coach Grip to have his guys ready. It's another situation. We talk about this in the pregame, so you're about to hear this shortly. But he doesn't like those long breaks during the season between games. He was hoping to have had a game earlier in the week, but they couldn't find anybody that had an opening that wanted to play Tyrone here at the end of the season. So their final game was a week ago today against Bald Eagle area, and have not been able to take the floor competitively since. They'll get to do that this afternoon. And there was one game earlier in the season where they had that long layoff, and it did not go well for them. And, of course, you're in the one-and-done phase.
Right.
If Tyrone would lose today, that would be the end of their postseason. Even if they lose, in the past, it would be if you lost your district championship, depending on what class your school was, you could move on into the postseason because they take maybe 2 teams from a district at a certain class. That's not the case this year. It's only the champions. It's win or go home. A lot of pressure on these young men here, especially the senior side of it here for Coach Grip.
Yeah, these guys have been playing together for quite some time. Quick stats, they're averaging 65.3 points per game, 25 rebounds per game, and they're shooting 51% from the field. And that's our Tyrone Golden Eagles.
All right, we'll have the coach coming back. It is pregame show time here on Classic Favorites, 96.9 and 100.7 WTRN.
It's income tax time. But it's a great time to get a used car, truck, or van at Tyrone Tire and Automotive. You already know Tyrone Tire and Automotive is the place to go for vehicle repairs and maintenance. But did you know they have a great selection of used vehicles at awesome prices? And they service what they sell, so you can buy with confidence. Check out their inventory on Facebook or just stop by at 5267 Pleasant Valley Boulevard. Now, how do you feel about income tax time? Yay! Your next vehicle is waiting for you at Tyrone Tire and Automotive. When it comes to harvesting timber in Central PA, one name comes to mind: Justin Reeder. Justin Reeder is a well-established timber harvesting company based in Tyrone, specializing in quality timber harvesting, firewood, timber transport, and residential tree removal, serving Tyrone and surrounding areas. Justin Reeder strives to be the best and provides the best quality services at premium prices for each and every customer. Call Justin Reeder, 814-327-8515, and be sure to visit them on Facebook.
96.9 and 100.7 WTRN. Classic Favorites.
We're here with the head coach of the Tyrone Golden Eagles. That, of course, is George Grip. And, Coach, here you are in the semifinals of the District 6 tournament phase of the postseason. And you're taking on a Bedford team which has a little bit of an angel on their shoulder after they won their game against Ben Cambria the other night. Last-minute three-pointer won the game.
Yeah, I was just talking to the coach about that. I commented, I said, you reminded me of Jimmy Valvano running around the floor and didn't have anybody to hug, and he laughed. But, he said, those guys remind us of a lot like us. I mean, they're a senior-laden team. These kids have been playing together for a long time. They're not going to go down without a fight. We know nobody's going to be safe with these guys. They're going to scratch and claw till the end. So, we're going to be ready for a battle today.
I know one of the things that, and I've talked to other people away from the game, that wonder, what about Tyrone? And I attribute a lot of your success to the amount of pressure you can put on a team in the backcourt, creating turnovers, and then turning those turnovers into points. It's been so successful for you all year.
Yeah, no, that's definitely we like to do that with these guys. I mean, we're going to throw some stuff at them, but probably not as much as what everybody's used to seeing from us. I mean, they have a really solid point guard and Steven Ressler. My son and him have become close friends. as they've played AAU ball together. I mean, it was funny. His dad's the coach of that team. All four of us went down to Kentucky for a tournament and drove down in the same car. So we're fairly close. I know Steve, and he's a good kid, and obviously his dad, Jason, knows Damon. And it's going to be fun out there to see those guys compete against each other. And, like I said, hey, the finality of it is today that one of us will not be playing anymore. So we have to go out and try to execute every possession we have. We have to play solid defense from start to finish and, put a 4 quarters game together today.
Talking about Damon, I have never seen anybody turn it on so well at the end of a season to try to, finish things out. His points per game going up and just about everything about his game continuing to improve. And you and I started to talk before we got into the pregame show here about the fact that you haven't played a game since last Saturday against Bald Eagle. Do you think that'll have any effect here tonight?
I hope not. I mean, we've had 2 long layoffs of 5 and 6 days prior, and we didn't fare too well. The one game we looked like crap for the first quarter, and the second game we didn't get it together till after halftime. Obviously, that can't happen tonight. I mean, playoff time, if you have even a bad 5-minute stretch, that could cost you the game. So we know how important it is to get out of the gate strong tonight. We don't want to have a slow start. Like my assistant said, we can't play any worse than we did last year against Central. We only had 5 points with 2 minutes to go till halftime. So hopefully we can throw the ball in the hole tonight. I mean, you got to play hard. You got to play tough. You got to play solid fundamental defense and rebound. But at the end of the day, you got to put the ball in the basket. And, we haven't had any issues with that all year except for the one game in Du Bois. And hopefully we got that out of our system.
All right. Sounds good. Hopefully we'll be back talking to you again on Thursday. Good luck today.
All right. Thank you.
Appalachian Running Company is Altoona's new home for those who love to run. We are passionate about running, just like you, and carry only the best men's and women's running shoes from brands you know and trust. Choose from Brooks, Hoka, On, New Balance, Saucony, and more. And since there's nothing worse than running in the wrong shoes, we provide a free gait analysis and expert fitting, so you can leave ready to run. Visit Appalachian Running Company in the Pleasant Valley Shopping Center next to ShoeFly.
Congratulations to the Tyrone boys and girls basketball teams on a terrific season from Long's Field Service, Quarry Road, Tyrone. And here's a reminder from Long's Field Service. The upcoming spring planting season means you may encounter farm vehicles and other large equipment on our area roadways. Long's Field Service says slow down and always practice safety first while driving.
Welcome back to the Tyrone High School Gymnasium for this evening's game. It is a District 6 semifinal game between Tyrone and Bedford. Dave Shannon and Lou Seidel, and I'll give the starting lineup here for the Bedford Bison. That includes the senior 6-foot, number 5, Stephen Ressler. Also senior, number 22, Joey Kuntz. 5'11" sophomore wearing number 40, Ethan Weber. A 5'9" player wearing number 2, Mercury Swain. And at a forward position, sophomore, 6-footer, number 11, Kevin Ressler. And Lou has the good guys.
And for the Golden Eagles, tonight's starting lineup, number 1, Jake Taylor. Number 3, Damon Grip. Number 4, Brandon Lucas. Number 10, Blaine Hoover. And rounding out the starting lineup, number 21, Cortland Rhodes for the Tyrone Golden Eagles.
All right, we are just about set and ready to go here from the high school gymnasium. 2 games here this afternoon, and yes, folks, they did go through the full sterilization protocol between the 2 games as I got a snoot full of Clorox there between the games. It was not pleasant, and I was not trying to get that either.
And Dave is not daisy fresh, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I'm not. Okay, the tip is controlled by Tyrone as Brandon Lucas wins that. Damon Grip has it, goes to Cortland Rhodes, hands it to Jake Taylor in midcourt. Jake at the midcourt circle, right wing, Damon Grip back to that circle, and then on the left wing, Cortland Rhodes down into the corner to Brandon Lucas. Rhodes dribbles out between the circles, kicks it over. Damon Grip takes a left wing 3. It will not fall, and the rebound's pulled in by Jake Taylor to Brandon Lucas, and then Cortland Rhodes with a basketball. It's Taylor back to Rhodes. Rhodes out at the top of the key. Jake Taylor will take an NBA 3 from the right wing and make it. Tyrone goes up by a score of 3-0.
Bison's in transition.
With the basketball, it is Bedford, and it's Steven Ressler. Ressler hands it to Kevin Ressler. It's the Ressler boys. And then it's Ethan Weber. Ball makes it around now. It's back in the hands of Kevin Ressler. And now heading down the lane, Mercury Swaim. Swaim still has the ball and kicks it over. Driving across the middle of the key is Ethan Weber. They kick it back out. Now driving down the lane and almost losing it, but getting it back was Kevin Ressler. They move the ball into the right corner. Down the right baseline, stopping underneath, no shot available, kicking it into the left corner for 3 from Kevin Ressler. And we are tied with 6.5 left to go in the first quarter.
Zone defense by Bedford. They're playing a loose 2-3. It's really frustrating Tyrone not being able to get down inside.
Jake Taylor to Damon Grip and back to Jake. Jake starts down. Nice inside pass.
There you go.
Brandon Lucas converts, and it is now 5-3 in favor of Tyrone. 6:10 left to go in the first quarter with the basketball. It's Steven Ressler. Behind the back dribble. Goes toward the right corner. Nothing open there. Pulls back and kicks it out for Mercury Swaim. Swaim stops in the middle of the key and kicks it over outside. Ooh, nearly an up and down there. 3-point attempt by Swaim won't fall. Things are different than what they were on Wednesday night. That's all I can say. It's a different game, a different team. A shot by Damon Grip is blocked by Bedford's Kevin Ressler. And now here go the Bedford Bison. They tried to drive that left baseline, and Steven Ressler could not keep control of the basketball. It goes out of bounds. It's Tyrone's ball, looking to add to their 2-point lead.
Yeah, that's the first time we've seen a block on Grip all season long.
5-3 the score. And Tyrone with the ball. Blaine Hoover out to Cortland Rhodes. Right corner 3. And Cortland converts. And the Eagles go up by 5, 8-3. Big shot by Rhodes.
Very comfortable in there tonight.
Bedford, a little Euro step on the way in for Kevin Ressler, and he missed the shot. Blaine Hoover to Jake Taylor. Tries another right corner 3 and almost went in. And the rebound ends up in the hands of Damon Grip, and he'll take it to the hole and convert it. Took a little while to get that under control, but Damon got it under control in a hurry and scored. 10-3, 7-point Tyrone lead. Bedford with the basketball. Joey Kuntz making a pass for Steven Ressler, and it was Kuntz's pass to where Ressler was. Ressler had vacated and was headed toward the key, and so the ball goes out of bounds. It'll be Tyrone ball out of the timeout.
And we'd like to thank our sponsors this afternoon: Long's Field Service, Gio's Barbecue, Patterson Automotive, Appalachian Running Company, Justin Reeder Tree Harvesting, Community Pharmacy, and Tyrone Tire and Automotive. Today's game sponsors bringing you Golden Eagle action.
As the Golden Eagles, as I say, trying to make their way toward the District 6 championship game, which will be played on Thursday. Now, where it'll be played, I guess, is up in the air. I guess they're going to try to do neutral site location, but of what I read of the PIAA's intentions for the state tournament is highest seed gets to host. So we'll see if there's any change in the way of thinking here in District 6 when we go to that championship Thursday in 4A. With the basketball, Blaine Hoover kicks it over. Jake Taylor down inside. Blaine Hoover Shot it a little strong off the glass. Bedford with the rebound, quickly up the floor with the basketball. Ethan Weber. Weber gets it to Swain. Mercury Swain puts the shot up and in.
That's a nice turnaround for Mercury.
Mercury Swain, a very athletic player, and it's now 10-5. Tyrone trying to get that control of the lead back as Damon Grip dribbles at the midcourt circle, hands it off to Blaine Hoover, who then goes back to Brandon Lucas. Lucas's shot is blocked, but he gets it back, goes to the hole. His shot was blocked by senior Joey Kuntz of Bedford. And after he got the ball back from the block, tried to shoot again, and he was fouled. So he'll go to the line and shoot a pair as the foul was called on Mercury Swain. His first and team's first. Brandon swishes the first one.
And as we said, this is a very good free throw shooting team, and he's at 52% for the year. Lucas
now with 3 in the game. 2 from the floor and just 1 from the foul line. He goes 1 for 2 in that trip. It's 11-5 Tyrone. Bedford with the basketball. It's Ethan Weber. Weber back out at the top of the key. Hands it to Wrestler. Steven Wrestler to be precise. Wrestler top of the key guarded by Grip. Kind of squeezed him heading down the lane. Landon DeHaas in the game is out there, and the foul got called on Damon Grip as Damon picks up his first, and that will be team first. With the basketball, it is Bedford. Dribbling, Steven Wrestler. Wrestler kicks it over, and that pass gets away, and Jake Taylor has it. Tyrone up the floor in a hurry. There goes Damon Grip, and a travel as he changed from his right hand to his left hand to go into the basket for a layup, and the brain didn't process all of that properly.
Doesn't put that on the floor. He'll think about that next time. Also, and Max Washington in for Bedford as well.
And driving to the hole with Swain, kicks it into the corner, and Washington is able to hit that one from the left corner for 3, and the lead is down to 3. Tyrone misses it there, and rebound by Maxwell Washington, and the whistle blows, and the foul called on Tyrone's Jake Taylor.
Yeah, I didn't know if that was going to be Hoover or Taylor, but Jake picks up the foul. Here come the Bisons.
Up the floor quickly, it is Wrestler. Wrestler loses control, ends up in the hands of Grip. Grip wins the race down the floor and makes the layup. So there. As it is now Golden Eagles 13 and the Bison 8. 2:58 left to go. First quarter, driving, and a nice effort by Steven Wrestler. He had that basket in his sights, and he made it. 13-10. Down near 2:45, bad pass from Grip there, but it's loose and eventually gotten by Blaine Hoover. Damon Grip tried the one-handed pass over to Brandon Lucas, standing on the right side of the key, and it was tipped out by Bedford.
Golden Eagles will inbound under their own basket.
Blaine Hoover to do the inbounding for Coach Grip. Hoover looks things over, ends up going into the corner. Three-point attempt by Taylor. Hits the side of the backboard. Taylor ends up with the ball, and then as Brandon Lucas was trying to make a move on that, the ball gets tipped out of bounds. And there's a little bit of disagreement out there amongst the players on the floor about who's supposed to be where. There's a little bit of a discussion going on out there.
Yeah, a little catch up here. A couple of changes in for Bedford. Number 11 in the lineup. That's Kevin Wrestler back in the lineup.
Yeah, that's the other Wrestler. Blaine Hoover to inbound. His attempt to go to Cortland Rhodes, tipped out of bounds by Kevin Wrestler. 6-foot sophomore. Hoover will try to inbound again on the left side of the floor at the Tyrone basket. Into Grip, puts it right up, and it won't fall. But Brandon Lucas gets the rebound, goes to Damon Grip. 13-10. Eagles only up by 3 here. 2:23 left to go. Damon Grip spins, looks things over. Ball gets tipped away by Washington. Grip retrieves it, starts down the lane behind the back spin. He did everything he could possibly do. It didn't go in. Then the ball ended up in the hands of Brandon Lucas. Lucas ends up going to the hole and drawing the foul.
Yeah, Lucas on the putback, cleaning that up down inside. We'll see who the foul's on as well.
And the foul is on Kevin Wrestler. That'll be his first, team's second. First shot's nothing but net. It's now 2 for 3 from the line here in the first quarter.
50% from the line is Brandon, as goes the entire Tyrone team at the foul line.
Second shot, nothing but net. So he's now 3 for 4. So that'd be your 75% for those of you keeping track at home. All right, down the lane. Shot is up. That looked like it was out of control, but believe me, Steven Ressler knew exactly what he was doing there. He makes that little shot, and it makes the score 15-12. Tyrone up by 3 with 1:49 left to go. Blaine Hoover down the right side of the lane, up off the glass and in. Momentum, there's nothing stopping Blaine Hoover, I'll tell you. 17-12, Tyrone up by 5. 1:34 left to go. Pass from Swain goes to Joey Kuntz. Back out to Swain, starts down the lane, gets
there's a little
double teamed and turns his shoulder and whacks into Brandon Lucas, and that'll be Mercury Swain's second foul.
Yeah, it's an offensive. That's a tough call, and I thought he was in the air too, so if not the foul, he would have traveled.
And coming into the game for him, it is someone that I don't have. I do not have a number. Was there a number 10 that came in? No, my mistake. It must have been number 40 back out on the
Ethan
floor.
Weber's in.
Ethan Weber.
There you go.
Cortland Rhodes with the ball. Top of the key, passes into the right corner to Blaine Hoover and then to Brandon Lucas. Here goes Rhodes down the lane. Puts a short jumper up and won't fall. And with the rebound, it's Kevin Ressler. Ressler hands it over to Steven Ressler. And then it is the other Ressler. Kevin shooting a 3. It won't fall. Rebound pulled in by Kuntz. Passes into the left corner. They move it around. Top of the key, Maxwell Washington starts down the lane, almost travels, but gets it away in a pass, which eventually makes its way back out to Steven Ressler. Once again, it's Kuntz. Kuntz goes to Ethan Weber. Weber stops and goes back to Kuntz. Double teamed right in at the right side of the key. It's taken away by Landon DeHaas. DeHaas up the floor, hands it to Grip. Grip back to DeHaas in the left corner, down the left baseline, puts a shot up and won't go. An effort to battle for the rebound, and the whistle blew just to signify that it had gone out of bounds off of Blaine Hoover.
Yeah, good hustle by Blaine down inside, and here come the Bison.
5-point Tyrone lead, 17-12 with 20 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Here's a 3-point attempt, and backing up like he had it all the way was Ressler. Instead, the fans get the ultimate joy of shouting air ball now every time he touches it.
The boo bugs were out. 14 seconds left.
17-12, Tyrone with the lead. Landon DeHaas will bring it up the floor for Coach Grip. Hands the ball to Damon Grip. Grip then goes to Blaine Hoover. Back to Grip. Brandon Lucas open for a 3. Takes it and makes it from the left wing. Brandon Lucas, he showed us that 3-point shooting before, and he shows it to us again here at the end of the first quarter to make the score. Tyrone 20 and Bedford 12. Now, we've been having some technical difficulties again with the equipment back at the station. We're going to see if we can get hooked up here and bring you our first commercial timeout. You're listening to Golden Eagle Basketball on WTRN.
When it comes to your health, you deserve expert advice. You wouldn't trust a gas station for your flu shot, so why trust them to sell you CBD? At Community Pharmacy Tyrone, we proudly carry Ananda Professional, an exclusive line of professional-grade CBD products including tinctures, soft gels, topicals, skincare, intimate oil, and even something for your pet. Not all hemp products are the same. Stop in and see our pharmacists at Community Pharmacy Tyrone. Trust your pharmacist for CBD guidance.
The Hyundai Elantra was named the 2021 North American Car of the Year. Winning the industry's most prestigious award is a pretty big deal, so we're going big with the celebration too. At the Hyundai Big Deal event, you'll get huge deals on our entire lineup of cars and SUVs, including the award-winning Elantra. So hurry in today, because this celebration is just too big to miss.
It's the Big Deal event going on now at Dean Patterson Hyundai. Get to Dean Patterson Hyundai now and go big. Dean Patterson Hyundai, 101 Pleasant Valley Boulevard, Altoona.
Back at the Tyrone High School Gymnasium. Dave Shannon and Lou Seidel. Bedford with the ball to start the second quarter. 20-12 our score. It is Maxwell Washington dribbling out on the left wing. Kicks us down toward the left corner, and that time Ressler takes that three. He looked confident, and that time it went through. It is now 20-15. It's a 5-point lead for Tyrone. Damon Grip loses control going down the lane, ending up with the ball with Stephen Ressler. Bedford back the other way. Kevin Ressler passes over to Stephen, makes it into Joey Kuntz, and then Maxwell Washington. Once again, Stephen Ressler to Washington. Backs up. Tries to pass inside, almost tipped away by Grip, but it is Ethan Weber back with the basketball. It gets to Maxwell Washington, misses the short shot, and it's Blaine Hoover up the floor to Cortland Rhodes, Brandon Lucas, Damon Grip, and then landed to Haas. Back to Grip, and now DeHaas will come out to midcourt to set up the offense. He plays catch with Blaine Hoover, then goes to Cortland Rhodes. A nice screen at the top of the key, and it won't fall. And the rebound ends up in the hands of Stephen Ressler to bring it up the floor. 20-15. Tyrone up by 5. With the basketball, Ethan Weber. And Weber...
Yeah, he jumped right into Hoover.
Ends up being fouled. It'll be Blaine Hoover picking. No, it wasn't. Brandon Lucas getting called for that foul. First foul shot's up and in for Ethan Weber, his first points of the game, and that takes the lead down to 4. Out of the game, landed to Haas. Jake Taylor back in. Weber's second shot. And that was pretty also. So it is now 20-17. And it's Jake Taylor up the floor over the midcourt stripe. Goes to Grip, left wing, starts down toward the basket. Kind of carried the ball for a little bit, nothing called. Goes to put up the shot, draws a foul.
Yeah, he'll go to the line for
just 2. The way it was written up and drawn up in the book. That is the first foul on Stephen Ressler, and team 4th now for Bedford. And that's out of the category of unusual, as Damon Grip misses the first.
Now he's the leading free throw shooter at 61%.
Basic starting 5 back out there for Tyrone. Grip's second shot rattles out. The rebound's pulled in by Joey Kuntz. And here comes Bedford within 3. Will this tie it? No. 3-point shot taken by Brett Wilson doesn't go. Then with the basketball down the lane, it's Weber. And he can't lay it up and in. Rebound, Brandon Lucas to Damon Grip. Grip, as he's trying to get the ball to Brandon Lucas there, and he was kind of hogtied by Brett Wilson. And Wilson picks up his first, now team 5th.
Yeah, Wilson comes in. He looks like a linebacker out there, 5'11", 185.
Yes, we will give him that. Inbound play from Hoover to Grip and then to Taylor. Jake Taylor will set things up on the right side of the court. Moving now toward the spot between the circles. Goes to Damon Grip, left wing, down the lane, pulls back and goes to Blaine Hoover. Screen for Hoover. He goes out to the top of the key, goes to Lucas and then Rhodes. Cortland Rhodes is called for a travel. And the ball will be turned over to Bedford. And it's a 30-second timeout by Coach Grip as his team is hanging on 20-17, a 3-point lead.
And this afternoon's contest was brought to you by Long's Field Service, Gio's Barbecue, Patterson Automotive, Appalachian Running Company, Justin Reeder Tree Harvesting, Community Pharmacy, and Tyrone Tire and Automotive.
So far in the second quarter, Tyrone has yet to score. Bedford has scored 5. A 3-pointer for Stephen Ressler and a pair from the foul line for Weber. And that's how we get set up at 20-17. And so it will be Bedford ball inbounds. Maxwell Washington will go to Stephen Ressler, who brings it over the midcourt stripe. Back to Washington. Maxwell tries to get around Taylor and can't. Goes to Weber. Weber on the left wing. Top of the key, Washington. Underhand toss to Brent Wilson. Wilson goes over to Weber. Weber starts down, stops at the left elbow, goes back out. They kick it into the right corner. A 3 for Maxwell Washington. And look at this, folks. We are tied at 20. Second quarter, Tyrone yet to score a point in almost 3 minutes of basketball played. And now for sure, as we're under 5 left to go. 3-point attempt from Cortland Rhodes, stepping up big time.
Yeah, no hesitation at all from Cortland Rhodes on that shot.
He has 6 on the evening, both of them threes. Maxwell Washington with the ball. Backs up on the left wing and now moves over toward the midcourt area. There's a pass that was stolen by Hoover, ahead to Taylor. Underhand toss. Cortland Rhodes stops, puts up a shot, it won't go. And it's Bedford with the rebound. Brent Wilson gets it ahead to Stephen Ressler. From Ressler to Maxwell Washington. Washington kicks it over. 3-point attempt is up and it won't fall for Brent Wilson. Battle for the rebound. It goes out of bounds to Bedford. Landon DeHaas will come back in the game for Tyrone. Brent Wilson out for Bedford. By the way, Cortland Rhodes out for Tyrone. Back in for the Bedford Bison, it is Kevin Ressler. So we are somewhat set up with the original starting 5 for both teams here, with the exception of Cortland Rhodes. Down the lane, Ressler stops at the left elbow. And for the first time in the game, it's a 1-point ball, Tyrone lead, 23-22. With the basketball, Damon Grip goes to Brandon Lucas just inside the 3-point arc. Takes the jumper, it won't fall. It's Stephen Ressler with the basketball. Bedford with a chance to take the lead with 3:45 left to go in the first half. Ressler stops, 3-point attempt wide left. Rebound Grip. Damon up the floor. Goes to Jake Taylor. Left corner 3-pointer. A little bit long, and the rebound is pulled in by Kevin Ressler. Goes to Maxwell Washington. And Max gets up the floor over the midcourt stripe, continues to shove Taylor out of his way, but can't penetrate completely. 3-point attempt again as Stephen Ressler has advanced to the NBA. Landon DeHaas tries a layup back the other way, doesn't get it. Ends up with his own rebound, goes to Grip, who charges in and gets it through the hole.
Good cleanup.
Tyrone's first points of the, make that the second. We had the 3 from Rhodes and now 2 from Damon Grip here in the second quarter. It's Bedford with the basketball, and Ethan Weber trying to get some room and be able to penetrate, and the whistle blows, and the foul's called on Jake Taylor, as Jake will pick up his second, and that is team 4th. And Jake will come out of the game. Cortland Rhodes back in. You have Landon DeHaas, Cortland Rhodes, Blaine Hoover, Brandon Lucas, and Damon Grip out there for Coach Grip. Here's Max Washington from the top of the key. His shot won't go. Rebound, Brandon Lucas ahead to Blaine Hoover. Hoover gets it back to Damon Grip out at the midcourt circle. 2:43 left to go, first half. Tyrone hanging on to a 3-point lead, 25-22. Landon DeHaas gets around Max Washington, goes all the way to the hole, gets squeezed as he gets down there, and the foul is called on Bedford, and it is Maxwell Washington picking up the foul, his first, and now team 6th. Any further fouls will result in a trip to the line for the Eagles. Landon DeHaas is there, and he is a
perfect from the line. 47% free throw shooter is Landon. We don't want to put the jinx on him on the kibosh.
He's 1 for 1 here tonight. And his Eagles go up 26-22. Second one's long. Max Washington bounced the ball hard, almost had it taken away by Lucas, but does maintain control. It is Stephen Ressler to Maxwell Washington. Washington goes to Ethan Weber, back to Washington. He's out there between the circles. Everybody kind of tied up. It's a timeout called quickly by Leo Brunelli of the Bedford Bison. as he saw his player in trouble. Tyrone's up by a score of 26-22 thanks to the coverage brought to you by Long's Field Service, Gio's Barbecue, Patterson Automotive, Appalachian Running Company, Justin Reeder Tree Harvesting, Community Pharmacy, and Tyrone Tire and Automotive.
And Dave, we do have a nice crowd on hand here for this contest. It's really nice to let the fans, the moms, the dads in here, for playoff action.
Yeah, staying within the guidelines that have been set by the Pennsylvania Department of Health, so don't anybody start saying this is some kind of super spreader event because they're complying with all the guidelines, so just don't get too hung up on that. All right, 26-22, Bedford will inbound, and the inbound goes from Kevin Ressler to Steven Ressler, working the ball inside. Weber spins in the lane, puts up a shot. It's blocked by Damon Grip. Fight for the rebound, coming out of the pack with it, Joey Kuntz in the right corner. Kuntz spins and then finds Steven Ressler. Steven to Kevin. The Wrestler boys having a little backyard game here. Weber down the lane, and he puts it up over top of Brandon Lucas. And Ethan Weber now with 4. 2 from the line, 2 from the field, and the score 26-24. Tyrone by a pair.
Tyrone will spread the floor here, trying to get DeHaas freed up inside.
DeHaas to Lucas, then to Rhodes. Top of the key. We'll hand it off to Damon Grip. Grip to Landon DeHaas. DeHaas starts down the left side of the lane. Tries a little bit of a loop pass over there for Blaine Hoover, and he hooked it right out of bounds.
The shot was there. The execution was off just a little bit, Dave.
26-24.
Bison with the inbound.
Tyrone by a pair. Bedford brings it up the floor. Maxwell Washington with the ball in the right wing. Kicks it down in on the right baseline. Here goes Weber to the basket. Puts up a shot and won't go. Gets his own rebound. That's blocked by Damon Grip. And then a shot is put up by Joey Kuntz. That won't fall. And it's Tyrone with the ball. Blaine Hoover. Cortland Rhodes for 3. Short. And now the Bedford fans can shout air ball for a while. Maxwell Washington with the ball on the right wing, guarded by DeHaas. Goes over to Steven Ressler and then to Kevin Ressler. Weber has a little trouble with the pass, but does regain control. Makes a move toward the basket and draws the foul. I think that may be on Landon DeHaas. We'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be on good old number 5, Landon DeHaas.
So DeHaas picking up his first foul of the game, Tyrone's 5th. And he was in the act of shooting, so we'll get the shooter pair, does Ethan Weber. Weber misses the first one wide left. Previously 2 for 2 from the line, now 2 for 3. 44.2 left to go in the first half. Makes the second one, so he's 3 for 4 in the afternoon from the foul line, and it's a 26-25 Tyrone lead by 1. 37 seconds left in the first half. Damon Grip in the right corner. Nice loop pass for Brandon Lucas. Lucas makes his way toward the hole, and the foul gets called on Joey Kuntz. He decides he wants to have a discussion with the referee, and the referee said, "Sorry, you made a foul." And so he did. That's his first and team 7th. Lucas fouled in the act of shooting. He'll get 2 regardless, and he makes the first one.
50% from the line, then, and again, that's the team average this year from the field goal line.
Yeah, you can throw that out today. He's 4 for 5, make him 5 for 6 now. Brandon Lucas chalking up the points from the foul line. The old charity stripe paying off. 28-25, Tyrone up by 3. 25 seconds left to go. Maxwell Washington kicks it out. Kevin Ressler for 3, it won't fall. Rebound pulled in by Joey Kuntz. Kuntz to the other Ressler as Kevin Ressler tries to pass it down into the corner to Maxwell Washington, and the ball goes out of bounds, tipped out by the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, Blaine Hoover playing defense swatted that right out of bounds.
16 seconds left to go. With the basketball, Steven Ressler goes to Maxwell Washington. DeHaas almost gets a steal, but doesn't. Then it's Weber over to the other Ressler. And what do we got? A foul has been called on number 11, Kevin Ressler, his second. And the 8th now for Bedford. 28-25 the score. 5 seconds left. Here goes DeHaas up the floor, down the lane, kicks it over into the corner. 3-point attempt will not go for Cortland Rhodes, and that sets our halftime score. A well-played first half as far as keeping the score close. It was the Tyrone Golden Eagles 28 and Bedford 25. The scary part about that second quarter, Lou, is the fact that the Tyrone Golden Eagles only scored 8 points in that quarter.
Yeah, Bedford outscored them 13-8. That's a scary quarter all the way around.
Yep. We'll be back and talk about that first quarter and some other things around the game. We may get in our conversation with Luke Rhodes, the girls coach that we had before the game that we did not get to air due to technical difficulties. Speaking of which, I have to continue entering things into this computer to try to make everything work again. And so we go ahead and put that information in as we it's just been great to see people out here being able to watch a basketball game in numbers for the first time this season.
Yeah, quite a bit of excitement on both sides. I mean, Bedford doesn't have a long way to go. They brought in a nice crowd of what was permitted. Tyrone always supports every athletic team, so a good crowd on hand, all things considered.
And yeah, once again, Karens, just cool it, okay? Everything is being conducted within the guidelines that have been presented by the Department of Health, District 6, and the PIAA. Okay, Karen? Good.
And we're not passing out M&Ms, Dave.
No, we're not. I'm not sorry your name's Karen. We'll be back after this.
Looking for the best in barbecue? Visit Gio's in Woodland for their award-winning ribs and sauce, or try one of Gio's delicious homemade pizzas and pasta sauce. And check out their full menu with wings, sandwiches, and more. Best wishes from Dave and the staff to the Tyrone teams in the basketball playoffs. Gio's, located just off I-80 at the Woodland exit.
It's income tax time. But it's a great time to get a used car, truck, or van at Tyrone Tire and Automotive. You already know Tyrone Tire and Automotive is the place to go for vehicle repairs and maintenance. But did you know they have a great selection of used vehicles at awesome prices? And they service what they sell, so you can buy with confidence. Check out their inventory on Facebook, or just stop by at 5267 Pleasant Valley Boulevard. Now, how do you feel about income tax time? Yay! Your next vehicle is waiting for you at Tyrone Tire and Automotive. When it comes to harvesting timber in Central PA, one name comes to mind: Justin Reeder. Justin Reeder is a well-established timber harvesting company based in Tyrone, specializing in quality timber harvesting, firewood, timber transport, and residential tree removal, serving Tyrone and surrounding areas. Justin Reeder strives to be the best and provides the best quality services at premium prices for each and every customer. Call Justin Reeder, 814-327-8515, and be sure to visit them on Facebook.
96.9 and 100.7 WTRN. Classic favorites.
Welcome back to Tyrone High School, where the score at halftime is Tyrone 28 and it is 25 for the visiting Bedford Bison. Joining us, the victorious coach from the earlier game here today. That, of course, is Luke Rhodes, also the athletic director here at Tyrone. And your ladies really seemed to get into gear there. I know you guys were fortunate to be able to play a game against Mifflin County on Monday. And I know Coach Grip was lamenting the fact that the last game he played was a week ago. And I think that definitely did help your ladies having their game on Monday.
Yeah, I think we were lucky enough to get the game with Mifflin County, and it worked out well. I mean, that's a tough team, a 6A school too, and they have some very good athletes. So, it was a game. Even though it was, we treated it like a playoff game. We went into that really well and tried to, make sure we shut down what they did, and we were treating it like a playoff game to get that atmosphere and get that attitude. Plus, it was important for us because we were able to play a game in this gym. We wanted to play the playoff games in this gym because of the seating capacity. So we were looking at trying to get, so it worked out well that way too.
Sure. Lou?
So, Coach, talk about that outside shooting that came on in the second quarter. What do you attribute that to?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. We've been waiting for that all year, so it was nice to finally hit. That was one of the things we've talked about is we just haven't been clicking on the same night, but I thought Stephanie got going and Emma hit some outside shots, and that opened some things up for Jada going inside. So it was a combination of all all that. So I was really happy it happened now. Hopefully it can continue. So
it was kind of interesting the way they, and when I say they, I mean Central Cambria, kind of the way they approached their defense at the beginning of the game was they didn't really care too much whether they guarded Kaylin Gibbons that closely or not. And after 3 consecutive made baskets, suddenly Kaylin Gibbons was on the radar of Central Cambria.
No, you know what? The Central Cambria did a great job of switching up their defenses. And early on, I really thought Kaylin did a great job of taking to the basket. And then
absolutely,
she scored some points early, and that opened some things out from the outside. The other thing was I think defensively Kaylin got caught, and our offensive we were running against their zone. We really had her moving a lot, and she wasn't able to seal. So that's something we've got to look at. But to be honest with you, her baskets taking it, she made a move, and I think our first 2 points, she caught it, ripped it, went to the left side, and finished, and that was huge for us. I mean, because then they, like you said, they had to focus inside, which opened up the outside for Stephanie.
Definitely, and Stephanie was in one of those, and we haven't seen one of those, Lou, for a while. And she can do it. I mean, Stephanie Ramsey, when she gets in a zone, she can just nail them, and she ended up with 15 points in the first half of the game. And that's where she was. She was in that zone at that particular point in time. The second player that you had already mentioned, Emma Getz, and Emma was kind of in that as she could have been frustrated and said, no, I'm not going to take any more, because it wasn't easy for her at the start trying to get those threes to fall, but then they started to fall, and you could see her confidence.
Well, even early on, she drove the ball hard to the basket and didn't get some finishes, but she drove them very hard to the basket. I think on her third drive, she got to the foul line, hit her foul shots, and then that kind of was like, okay, the ball's going in the hoop, and then she looked really smooth on her shots too, and didn't force. I mean, I think that's the big thing. I don't think any of our girls really forced anything today, which is important. I think we moved the ball and hit open shots, which will be key if we continue on. I
think I'm going to rename Jada the Silent Assassin.
Silent Assassin. I was just going to ask that question. She had the quietest 15-plus points of the game, but she's always active in the ball.
Well, teams that play a zone, I mean, she struggles to get going at times. She shot the ball very well against Mifflin County. I was really happy with the way she played against Mifflin County. But to be honest with you, tonight she just did a lot of little things that really made things happen. And once she got going, she turns it on. She's a top-notch player. I'm really happy with the way actually all of our girls played tonight.
Hey, has it been determined who you would play on Thursday?
Actually, I'm in my office right now watching. It starts. I thought it's on a different network, and I was watching, and it was I said 6:30 start, but it must be a 7:00 start. So I'm gonna be watching that, and we'll miss the second half of the boys' game, but I'm sure they'll do great and pull it out, and I'm rooting for them.
Yes, absolutely. It's George mentioned this in the pregame. He was a little concerned about that extra time off and not being in a competitive situation for a week. He had that crop up a couple of times in the regular season, and it didn't exactly bode well for the team. And hopefully now they have their sea legs underneath them once again, and they'll be ready to go. Hey, we appreciate you taking the time to come out.
Hey, thank you for asking, and good luck to everybody. We'll see you on Thursday.
Yep, thank you. Luke Rhodes, the head coach of the Tyrone girls basketball team, victorious this afternoon and defeating the Central Cambria Red Devils in order to move on in the postseason to the District 6 championship game. We'll be back with the second half of action between Bedford and Tyrone. The boys edition, well, we were hoping to do that, and now we have to go through all of the machinations that I have to go through all the time with this equipment. We have never had this problem all year, folks, and now that it's playoff time, we are suddenly just getting all kinds of problems here with our equipment and internet connections and what have you. We're pleased that we've been able to get the audio back to you in a way that we're used to. We pride ourselves in being able to give you audio that you can listen to on the radio, and we do have that back. And right now, let's hope this particular thing works. Let's press this button and see if it does.
Appalachian Running Company is Altoona's new home for those who love to run. We are passionate about running, just like you, and carry only the best men's and women's running shoes from brands you know and trust. Choose from Brooks, Hoka, On, New Balance, Saucony, and more. And since there's nothing worse than running in the wrong shoes, we provide a free gait analysis and expert fitting so you can leave ready to run. Visit Appalachian Running Company in the Pleasant Valley Shopping Center next to Shoe Fly.
Congratulations to the Tyrone boys and girls basketball teams on a terrific season. From Long's Field Service, Quarry Road, Tyrone. And here's a reminder from Long's Field Service. The upcoming spring planting season means you may encounter farm vehicles and other large equipment on our area roadways. Long's Field Service says slow down and always practice safety first while driving.
When it comes to your health, you deserve expert advice. You wouldn't trust a gas station for your flu shot, so why trust them to sell you CBD? At Community Pharmacy Tyrone, we proudly carry Ananda Professional, an exclusive line of professional-grade CBD products including tinctures, soft gels, topicals, skincare, intimate oil, and even something for your pet. Not all hemp products are the same. Stop in and see our pharmacists at Community Pharmacy Tyrone. Trust your pharmacist for CBD guidance.
Welcome back to the Tyrone Gymnasium. It was Tyrone ball to start the third quarter, and they respond with the first points of the third quarter scored by Damon Grip. It is 30-25. Tyrone back up by 5 with the basketball. It is Wrestler. Wrestler tried to make a pass, made it to nowhere, but retrieved his own pass to nowhere. And it is now the other Wrestler, and Steven puts up a shot and won't fall. Rebound. Blaine Hoover gets it to Damon Grip. Grip underhand toss to Rhodes. Thought about the three, didn't take it. Hoover, cross-court pass intended for Grip. Intercepted by Mercury Swain. Now with the basketball, it's Kevin Wrestler. Back to Swain. Reaching in behind and tipping it out of bounds. Jake Taylor having a great defensive game here today.
He plays long. He plays a lot bigger than he is, and he's got that big, wide wingspan. Swatted that one right away.
And the inbound play from Swain to Steven Wrestler. Wrestler goes over to Joey Kuntz. Wow. Back out to Wrestler, and he missed a very wide left, or as they would have said in the movie Major League, just a bit outside. There goes Brandon Lucas down the lane, up off the glass and in.
Good body control by Brandon on that drive to the basket.
And it is now 32-25. Tyrone getting the better of it here early on in the third quarter. 6:45 left to go. And that shot does not fall. It's Damon Grip with the rebound up the floor. He'll go all the way to the hole, stops, puts up a jumper, and gets called for the charge on Joey Kuntz.
Yeah, Kuntz gets a black mark for the Emmy on that one. We're going to ring that one up.
Second foul of the game on Damon Grip, and teams first in the second half. 32-25, Tyrone by 7, and up the floor comes Steven Wrestler. Wrestler to brother Kevin. Kevin goes to Swain, and Swain gets called for the travel as he was approaching the end line, and feet kind of got tangled up a bit there.
Yeah, he just couldn't get under control on that, and he had no idea what he was going to do with the ball.
Taylor inbounds to Hoover, back to Taylor. Jake brings it up the floor. 32-25. Brandon Lucas starts down the right side of the lane, spins, puts it up, draws a foul. That should be on Joey Kuntz. We'll see.
Got a nice warning coming up to number 2 there as well.
So Joey Kuntz picks up his second and team first, and Brandon Lucas doing well so far at the line. We'll see if that continues.
And the hush falls over the crowd.
For whatever reason.
I don't know.
Oh!
Shooter's roll for big Brandon Lucas.
Man, that rattled around there and then started to swirl and swirled the right way, which was down through for a point. Second one is up by Lucas. Nothing but net. And it is Tyrone now, 34-25. With the basketball. It is Wrestler. Kicks it over. Weber spins in the lane. And then it's Swain. Swain goes back out to Weber, top of the key. Pulls back. Now starts down the lane again. Can't get around Blaine Hoover. Can't touch that. Here's the three-point attempt. It's good by Ethan Weber. His first three of the game. and the first points of the second half for Bedford. 34-28, Tyrone by 6. Blaine Hoover to Brandon Lucas inside. Jake Taylor thought about the shot and instead dribbled down the baseline. No look pass into the left corner. Cortland Rhodes takes the shot, and he ends up getting fouled, and I think he took that shot because he knew he was beyond the arc, and he'd get 3 chances. Smart play, Mr. Rhodes.
Good heads up.
So here is the first of 3. And that one is short. He has 2 more.
He's usually 53% from the free throw line. He's one of the better shooters on the team for the Golden Eagles.
There's nothing but net. So he's 1 for 2 now. Let's go 2 for 3 here, Cortland. And front of the rim, back of the rim, but it won't go down through. He goes 1 for 3 in that trip. And then there's a tie-up with a rebound. The refs let it go. And wide open at the other end to put in the little 2-foot jumper is Kevin Ressler and make it 35-30 with the ball. Damon Grip kicks it back out. Cortland Rhodes, top of the key, down the lane, into the left corner. Grip down the baseline, goes back to Rhodes. Rhodes comes out to Brandon Lucas, and George Grip does not like what he sees, and he calls a 30-second timeout.
Yeah, we're going to do a little positive interaction there. And this evening's game is brought to you by our friends at Tyrone Tire and Automotive, Community Pharmacy, Justin Reeder Tree Harvesting, Appalachian Running Company, Patterson Automotive, Gio's Barbecue, and Long's Field Service.
So it is the Golden Eagles with 35. And, you know, that first quarter, they got off to such a great start, but only able to put up 8 points in the second quarter. And thus far in the third, we're not quite halfway through, and they have already put up 6, so they'll try to keep that trend going. Blaine Hoover to inbound. And nobody open yet. Now it is Brandon Lucas who comes out and takes that. Hands it to Jake Taylor. Taylor out near the midcourt circle. Kicks it over. Cortland Rhodes on the left wing. Back to Taylor. Taylor starts down the right side of the lane. Tries a spin move, and Stephen Bressler, or make that wrestler, is going to get called for that foul.
Yeah,
which he will argue.
Yeah, they're arguing. They're going to have to control that a little bit. They're getting a little vocal here, are the players.
Yes, they are. And so his second and team third inbounding Blaine Hoover. Hoover looks things over, goes to Rhodes in the right corner. Cortland comes out, stops at the wing, and now the ball on the right elbow. Damon Grip went across the key and pulled back. Out now, deep on the left wing. Stops at the left elbow. Puts up a jumper. It won't fall. Hoover almost got the rebound, that is, but Swain kept hold of it. Now it's the Wrestler boys playing catch, and Weber down the right baseline. Kisses it off the glass. Won't go. Rebound goes to Weber. Kicks it out. And the sophomore wrestler, Kevin, ends up sinking that one for 3. And it is now 35-33 in favor of Tyrone. Spin move. Damon Grip in the lane. Puts up a jumper and won't fall. Rebound. Stephen Wrestler up the floor. Wanted to go all the way to the hole but did not. Mercury Swain down the lane. Stopped. That was close to a travel. And now down the left side of the lane. Putting it up and in. And Kevin Wrestler emerging as the superstar of this quarter for the Bedford Bison. We're tied at 35, Lou.
Yeah, there's no quitting this Bedford Bison team.
Jake Taylor to Blaine Hoover. Hoover starts down the left side of the lane, tries to put one up off the glass, gets his own deflected shot, deflected by the glass, gets it back from Cortland Rhodes, and it was Blaine Hoover saying thank you very much. He got a chance to redeem himself. 37-35, Tyrone by 2, and it is Kuntz with the basketball. Joey Kuntz goes to Stephen Wrestler. Wrestler between the circles, backed up, started down the lane, pulled back. Here's Weber. Ethan Weber with the basketball, hands it to Mercury Swain, stops in the middle of the lane, goes to, takes a three-point shot, it doesn't go, and the rebound, Brandon Lucas went in there for it, got fouled by Joey Kuntz.
Yeah, Kuntz boxing out underneath. That's
That's his third, by the way.
They're going to have to take him out. In comes Spencer Ebersole, 6'1", sophomore for the Bison.
Also out of the game, it is Ethan Weber, and coming in, Maxwell Washington.
No
Tyrone
loss with Washington coming in again.
No, that's for sure.
Lights out.
Blaine Hoover to Damon Grip as Tyrone brings it up the floor, and Landon DeHaas is into the game as well as he comes in. Here's a three-point attempt by Grip and won't fall. Rebound was wide open. Nobody underneath to rebound that time. Ressler got it ahead to Swain. Swain back to Ressler. Starts down the right side of the lane. Has contact with Brandon Lucas, and Brandon Lucas is going to pick up.
No, it's offensive foul.
They did call the offensive?
On Kevin Ressler. He's going to pick up that foul.
All right.
His third.
That's his third. And he gets to take a seat on the pine over there.
Ethan Weber.
By the way, it's the other neat thing we're seeing the fans here. We're seeing the players on a bench now. Sitting on one of the bleacher seats. Near steal by Bedford. Brandon Lucas gets control of it, though. Goes to Cortland Rhodes. Rhodes to Lucas to Landon DeHaas. DeHaas now pulls back. Starts down the left side of the lane into the left corner. Brandon Lucas spins, goes back to Rhodes. Rhodes starts down the lane around Washington, puts it up and won't fall. And the rebound by Mercury Swain. Swain up the floor, nearly tipped away by Blaine Hoover. And then taking the ball to the basket was Ethan Weber. Weber put up the shot and drew the foul from Brandon Lucas. That'll be Brandon's second and team's second.
That sends number 40 to the line, Ethan Weber.
Weber is 3 for 4 so far from the line. Make him 4 for 5. It is now 37-36. The tying point could happen now. And it does. Front of the rim, side of the rim, rolled down through. 37-37. We are tied with 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Landon DeHaas with the basketball. Goes to Brandon Lucas and then to Cortland Rhodes. Top of the key. Starts down the lane into the right corner. Grip pulls back. Then starts again down the baseline. Puts up his shot. It won't fall. And the rebound is pulled down by Steven Ressler. He's going to go all the way to the Bedford basket. Put up a shot over top of Brandon Lucas and make it. And it's Bedford with a 2-point lead, their first substantial lead of the night. Minute and a half left to go. Brandon Lucas with the ball. Goes to Landon DeHaas to Blaine Hoover. Blaine works that left baseline, tries to get in there for the rebound and gets fouled by, I believe, Maxwell Washington on the way to the hoop.
Yeah, it's going to be on Washington, number 13. That's going to send Hoover.
That's his second and now team seventh. And Blaine Hoover, well, actually sixth. Okay. Hoover at the line. He gets to shoot 2, fouled in the act of shooting, so he makes the first one.
52% from the line on the season is number 10, Blaine Hoover, for the Golden Eagles.
Right now he's 100%, and he's 50%. So that's the name of that tune. Here comes Bedford up the floor with the basketball. Ethan Weber. Weber cuts across the lane, kicks it into the right corner for 3. Washington shoots it long. Rebound, Brandon Lucas to Jake Taylor. Taylor to Landon DeHaas. Down the left baseline, stops, puts up a shot. Was hit hard by Maxwell Washington from behind. And that will send Landon DeHaas to the line and also give Washington his third foul.
And that was a tough angle to the basket for Landon, but he'll be at the line for 2.
Fouled in the act of shooting. Makes the first one.
It looked like a knuckleball coming off the wrist there.
It's okay, it went through.
Indeed it did.
DeHaas now 3 for 3 from the line for the night. And he's now 4 for 4. He scored 4 points, all of those from the foul line. And with the basketball, I made a mistake there. He only has 3. I accidentally gave him an extra one. Oh well. He's 3 for 4. Driving down toward the basket. Reverse layup falls for Steven Ressler. It's 40-39, and Wrestler make it 41-40 in favor of Bedford, and Wrestler could put them up by 2.
That was a quick move to the basket. He's got a lot of athleticism, as we talked about, and just pulling Bedford always close. No quitting to Bedford.
Here's a shot. It is up, and it is nothing but net for Stephen Wrestler.
Puts him up by 2.
Wrestler now with 14 points in the game, 42-40 in favor of Bedford. Jake Taylor hands the ball to Damon Grip. 37 seconds left, third quarter. Grip to Taylor, right wing. Goes to Lucas, top of the key. Brandon started down the lane, instead passes to Hoover. Down the baseline, put up a shot, it didn't go, and the rebound is pulled in at about 1,000 miles an hour. Stephen Wrestler heads up the floor, and once again, you get a little mouth out of the Bedford players. I think have been a little noisier than they should be, if you will, as Stephen Wrestler complained about that. He thought he was fouled, and in fact the ball went out of bounds. Tyrone has it. It is Brandon Lucas at the top of the key. 5 seconds left. Goes down the lane, up, off the glass, and in. Brandon Lucas makes a big one there, and we are tied. Yes, we have played 3 periods here at Tyrone High School Gymnasium, and the score at the end of 3 is Bedford 42 and Tyrone 42. More after this on WTRN.
The Hyundai Elantra was named the 2021 North American Car of the Year. Winning the industry's most prestigious award is a pretty big deal, so we're going big with the celebration too. At the Hyundai Big Deal event, you'll get huge deals on our entire lineup of cars and SUVs, including the award-winning Elantra. So hurry in today, because this celebration is just too big to miss.
It's the Big Deal event going on now at Dean Patterson Hyundai. Get to Dean Patterson Hyundai now and go big. Dean Patterson Hyundai, 101 Pleasant Valley Boulevard, Altoona.
Looking for the best in barbecue? Visit Gio's in Woodland for their award-winning ribs and sauce, or try one of Gio's delicious homemade pizzas and pasta sauce. And check out their full menu with wings, sandwiches, and more. Best wishes from Dave and the staff to the Tyrone teams in the basketball playoffs. Gio's, located just off I-80 at the Woodland exit.
Back at Tyrone High School, where the score is tied at 42. Bedford had the ball to start the fourth quarter, and that is Blaine Hoover was at for 3. Blaine hits a 3. Tyrone goes up 45-42.
They went over the line, costly turnover. Tyrone will inbound under their own basket as
Tyrone gets it back up by 3. 7:37 left to go in the game, and Blaine Hoover to inbound. Into Landon DeHaas out of the left corner. Almost dribbled it right off his knee, but got control and got it out to Jake Taylor. Taylor at the midcourt circle. This would be big for Tyrone to score the next points here, turning that turnover into points. And it's Blaine Hoover. Hoover down the left baseline, kicks it out to Haas at the midcourt circle. Back to Damon Grip. The left wing NBA 3. Damon Grip hits it. His first 3 of the game. 48-42. As Tyrone jumps out to a 6-point lead. Weber with the basketball. It's tipped by Lucas, taken by Grip up the floor, spins in the lane, tries to put up a shot. It doesn't go. A fight for the rebound leads to it going out of bounds off of Mercury Swain. It'll be Tyrone ball.
Good defense. Tyrone with the inbound under their own basket.
48-42, 6:53 left to go in the game. Blaine Hoover inbounds. Damon Grip with a short jumper, can't make it, and the rebound is pulled down by Swain. Gets it ahead to Kevin Wrestler. Wrestler to Weber, over to the other Wrestler. Tries the 3 and it won't go. Blaine Hoover with the rebound, goes to Grip. Grip slows things down. And now passes across for Jake Taylor. Tipped out of his hands. Down the floor, up and in. That is Ethan Weber. It's 48-44. There is going to be no runaway here at the end of this game. This is going to stay nip and tuck the whole way through, I think. Damon Grip down the left side of the lane. Tried to make a pass over to Blaine Hoover, and it was Kind of kicked out of bounds by Joey Kuntz, and it will be Tyrone ball. Cortland Rhodes will come into the game for Landon DeHaas.
Cortland adds a little bit of that outside shooting as well for the Golden Eagles.
It was good to see him hit some threes there. He looked a little confident after that. See what happens. Oh, totally back to the basket was Brandon Lucas, and he just kind of throws it over his shoulder right into the hole. What a great point by Lucas. It is Bedford with the basketball. It's Weber dribbling across the key, gets bumped by Jake Taylor, and Jake's going to pick up his third here. So make that his fourth, they show on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Wow. So he picks up his fourth, comes out of the game. Landon DeHaas had a brief respite on the bench. He's back out there. Inbound goes to Ressler. Tries the three from the left wing. Steven Ressler.
Yeah, you can't leave him alone like that.
Yeah, I don't think you want to have him gaining any extra confidence than what he already has. Here's Damon Grip losing control of the basketball. Swain ahead to Ressler. Up off the glass and in. Steven Ressler with 5 points in the blink of an eye, and it's back to a 1-point game. Tyrone 50, Bedford 49. DeHaas down the lane from the left side. Kisses it off the glass and in. And it's now 52-49. And there's a fight for the basketball at midcourt. And Damon Grip gets into it with Steven Ressler a little bit. Grip was trying to get the steal. Instead, they called a foul on Grip. And for Damon, that's his third.
He's still talking. They got to calm him down a little bit.
Yes,
it's going to be technical time here real soon.
He's met by George on the way out, and Tyrone will take the full time out here with the score 52-49.
We'd like to thank our sponsors for this afternoon and this evening's contest, and that would be Long's Field Service, Gio's Barbecue, Patterson Automotive, Appalachian Running Company, Justin Reeder Tree Harvesting, Community Pharmacy, and Tyrone Tire and Automotive. This afternoon and this evening's game sponsors.
Mercury Swaim was the big hero of the game back on Wednesday night that got Bedford to this game against Tyrone as he hit a three-pointer at the buzzer to garner a 45-44 win over Penn Cambria. And although he's had himself a good game here, certainly the big factor in this game, especially here in the second half, Steven Ressler has just really been a key component of all of Bedford's success here.
And Bedford has shown their athleticism. They've kept up with the Tyrone Golden Eagles this entire game.
Yeah, they have. The only negative I can say, and I don't want to, implicate the whole team here, but a couple of the players here on the Bedford team really give the officials just a little too much lip when there's a call that doesn't go the way they think it should. And now Damon Grip is addressed for his face. Well, I don't know. Was it face gear or was it verbiage?
It was verbiage.
All right. Well, driving to the hole and putting one up off the glass and in is Joey Kuntz, getting his first points of the game. Good time to do it. Brings his team within one. DeHaas will go down the lane, left side. Tries a little hook scoop shot, and it won't go. And he does get a foul called on Ethan Weber. For Weber, that is just his second. And now team 8.
Yeah.
DeHaas at the line. He was in the act of shooting, so he's going to get two. He does miss the first one. Out of the game goes Ethan Weber, and coming back in, Maxwell Washington. Washington was 6 points in the game back in there. And Weber exits with 12 points.
DeHaas.
Nothing but net that time for DeHaas.
Puts him up by 2.
Now 4 for 6 in the game. Down the lane. Make that down the baseline that time for Ressler. And number 5 meets number 5. As Steven Ressler meets Landon DeHaas. And Steven gets to go to the line to shoot 2. DeHaas picking up his third.
These are key coming down the stretch. He misses the first one.
Yes, surprisingly.
So we talked earlier about rebounds and foul shots, right?
Yep. And there was maybe a little bit of playback for the extensive amount of verbiage there on that first shot for Wrestler. He does make the second one. Here's Damon Grip with the basketball down the right side of the key, kicks it over, landed to Haas for three from the left wing, won't fall. Rebound by Kuntz. Kuntz ahead to Wrestler. It is Stephen Wrestler going to the basket. Oh my, shooter's roll.
Up and in.
It's not even his house, but he treated that roll was a shooter's roll from a home court, and then Tyrone has a ball carry called on it on the way into the Bedford end, trailing by one now with 4.5 left to go in the game, and Bedford with the ball, up 54-53.
Little momentum switch.
Here's a steal by Landon DeHaas. DeHaas almost had it tipped away, kept going, tried to put up a shot, and they say that Mercury Swain got all ball.
No foul.
The Tyrone faithful disagree.
Indeed they do.
And somebody bumped into the divider that goes across the middle of the gymnasium. Jim Dominic takes care of that. The inbound play goes out to Landon DeHaas, who is, by the way, back in the Bedford end. Ball is back in the Tyrone end. DeHaas down to the corner to Hoover on the left side, back out left wing, and now Damon Grip in that left corner, and Landon DeHaas out at the midcourt circle to Cortland Rhodes. Damon Grip now between the circles. Left wing, Cortland Rhodes. Left wing, Landon DeHaas, who gets rung up for the travel. Wow.
They were working the ball patiently, and DeHaas gets called for the travel. He'll come out and back in with 4 fouls. Comes number 1, Jake Taylor for the Golden Eagles.
54-53. Remember this, folks. You lose and your season's over. Bedford fighting to keep theirs going as the one wrestler passes to the other. Stephen to Kevin. It's back over to Stephen out of the hands of Max Washington. Stephen Wrestler thought about starting down the lane, pulls back, tries again. Left side, scooper layup.
When
and
it
is the Stephen Wrestler show right now. 3-point attempt, Cortland Rhodes. That's huge.
Just like that, ties it up at 56 apiece.
Tied at 56 as we get close to the 3-minute mark left to go. Mercury Swain down the lane, stops, puts up a jumper, won't fall. Washington with the rebound to Stephen Wrestler. Wrestler then goes into the corner, and Swain kicks it back out. Wrestler tries and won't go. Fight for the rebound underneath. They don't blow the whistle. And they're going to say
there's a foul down
that
inside.
It was Mercury Swain being fouled as he was shooting the ball, and it's on Jake Taylor to boot. That will bring an end to Jake Taylor's game.
All tied
you
up
hate to lose him.
You do, offensively, and he's the floor general for the Golden Eagles.
Jake ended up with 1 3-pointer in the game, and that's what he's going to leave with for the day. Landon DeHaas will go in for Jake Taylor. Tyrone fans applaud and approve of the work that Jake Taylor did today. Mercury Swain is at the line. He'll shoot 2. No, it's a 1-on-1. Sorry about that. Okay. Well, he missed it, and Brandon Lucas got the rebound, and here comes Landon DeHaas.
It's a good box out down inside by Lucas. Every possession key here.
DeHaas taking his time, which is probably something he needs to do here. Tries to feed a pass into Blaine Hoover, and Mercury Swain is going to be rung up for that one. And for Swain, that is his 3rd.
That's the 9th team foul, so they're going to be at the bonus the rest of the way. That sends Blaine Hoover to the line.
Next one's a 2-shotter for Tyrone. Right now it's a 1-on-1. Hoover's first shot is up. Strong off the back of the rim. Rebound, Damon Grip. Grip circles back around. We'll circle back around and talk to you about that later. Okay. Damon Grip, right wing. And a full timeout called by George Grip as he wants to circle back and talk to his team.
He's going to set the precedent here for the rest of the game.
Tied at 56.
It's just a heck of a ball game. Bedford came to play, and Coach pointed that out in the beginning. But Bedford has nothing to lose. They weren't expected to be here. Tyrone has everything to lose, and as you said, lose here, your season is done.
Yeah, this is it. It's and it's that way the rest of the way through, for that matter. As I mentioned before, it used to be if you got to the district championship game, you would move on because in most cases, depending on the class of the school, they would take 2 from a district out of that class. Well, that's not the case this year. There's only 2 rounds of games before the championship game. So if you make it through your district championships, you're automatically in the Elite 8 in the state. And then that gets whittled down to the Final 4 and then to the championship. Those games set to be tipped off the 19th and 20th of March. Right now it is March 6th, and the District 6 championship game will be on the 11th. Inbound goes to Landon DeHaas from Blaine Hoover. DeHaas hands it to Hoover, then to Lucas. Lucas to Grip. Top of the key, Cortland Rhodes, left wing. Rhodes to DeHaas and then to Hoover. Back out top of the key, Grip. Clock ticking down, 2:08 left to go. And it's play number 3 that gets called out. I don't know if Grip's, that's his getting his own number called. Well, here's a 3-point attempt by Cortland Rhodes. Short, goes out of bounds. Air ball chant from the Bedford fans. And here we go. Tied at 56. It is Kevin Ressler. Ressler tried to pass to Washington. Stolen by Hoover. Goes to the basket, up and in. Got a healthy bump on the way down there. And that bump was given to him by Kevin Ressler. I do believe he picks up his 4th.
Yep, but that'll send Blaine Hoover to the line as well.
I'll tell you what, he did knock Hoover, about a 1.5 foot there. He gave him a heck of a bump.
It was a body shot. Nice
Hoover
job.
Makes that. He recovered well from that body shot and then just did absolute ice water, nothing but net on the foul shot. Down to 1:40 left to go. 59-56. Tyrone up by 3. 3-point attempt is good for Kevin Ressler. We're tied again at 59.
The youngster, ice water in his veins.
Kevin Ressler hits that one from NBA 3 range. And we're tied at 59 with 1:20 left to go. Damon Grip trying to hand the ball to DeHaas, stolen by Washington. Gets it to Swaim. Swaim down the lane, stops off the glass and in. Mercury Swaim puts Bedford up by 2, 61-59. 1:04 left to go in the game. DeHaas with the basketball. Stops, pulls back, takes the 3, won't go. Ball gets tipped up. Blaine Hoover with a big rebound. Goes to DeHaas and then to Damon Grip. Blaine Hoover back to Grip. Grip on the right wing. Cortland Rhodes at the top of the key. Tried to take a 3 and gets bumped into by Joey Kuntz for his 4th. And they're going to send Cortland Rhodes to the line for 3.
The key foul shots right now for Cortland.
This happened before, and Cortland only went 1 for 3. Let's hope this goes better this time around. Down by 2. First one's long and rims out. Needs these next 2 to tie it back up. Front of the rim and short. He has 1 more. 44 seconds, 43.9 to be exact, left to go. And Rhodes makes that one to make it a 61-60 Bedford lead, and the whistle blows for a timeout. Holy smokes, does it get any better than this?
Now, this is what it's all about, and strategy on both sides. We're going to see what Leo Brunelli dials up for the Bison, as well as, Coach Grip for the Golden Eagles. This is a 2-possession contest right now. 1-point lead by the Bison, 61-60.
So we'll see exactly what we get called out of this timeout that we have going on. You know, it was a big factor here. I did not, and I doubt if you did, mark down the time that Jake Taylor fouled out of the game. But that was critical.
Somewhere around the three-plus minute mark. I don't have the exact time.
But that was a big one and a big loss for the Golden Eagles in this game. Not to downplay anybody else that's out there.
No, he's the floor general, and he's done that for a long time.
Yes, and he's a very aggressive young player. Maybe not as young as he'd like to be. This is his senior year, after all.
Exactly.
Okay, 1 point Bedford lead. They inbound. Swaim gets it in to Stephen Ressler. Ressler over the midcourt stripe, and going down at midcourt was Joey Kuntz, and bumped into Damon Grip, who went down on the floor. And now a lot of discussion about what it was that Kuntz did to him, but nothing was called.
No foul.
Play on. 35 seconds left to go. There's a screen by Kuntz. Here goes Swaim. Swaim headed toward the basket. DeHaas, I do believe, will get called for that one. And for DeHaas, that'll be his fourth.
Swain was a hero, to get him here, so he's at the line now for 2. 6 points.
Would make it a one-possession game if he makes both. Got the first one.
And he was an all-conference running back for Bedford as well. Good athleticism.
Got that running back look to him. That one's long. Rebound, Blaine Hoover. Tyrone could win it on this possession. It's a 2-point game. Bedford 62, Tyrone 60. 20 seconds left. Cortland Rhodes to Blaine Hoover. Back to Rhodes, deep on the right wing. Starts toward the basket, tipped away by Swaim. 12 seconds left. And Ressler loses it. Grip has it. 6 seconds left. Quick timeout by George Grip. A full timeout is called. And you got 6 seconds to keep your season from ending.
And they need a 3-pointer or 2-point ties it up, and we go into overtime. But, confidence in this offensive juggernaut that is the Tyrone Golden Eagles. They're going to set a screen for somebody, and I would guess it might be Cortland Rhodes, or it might be good old
Damon Grip.
Damon Grip, number 3. He's carried them this far. He's had a great second half of the season, really got his shooting on par, has carried the team night after night, being the leading scorer on the team for the Golden Eagles.
I'll tell you what, if it's me, just statistically, you got to get this to Grip. And if it's also up to me, and I know that you're short a player now because Taylor had fouled out of the game, I want to take it to overtime. It's home floor. I'll take the tie and the overtime. But let's see what the great game plan is. 6.3 left to go. And now you got fans fighting across the way between Bedford and Tyrone. There is a set of cones dividing the stands here on the far side from us. And as they try to get things under control, Tyrone security guard goes over. And now there's a discussion between the security guard and the Bedford fan.
There's certainly a few adjectives being waged up in the stands.
Yes. Nothing that can be repeated on radio.
No, and the cones are actually protecting the wire going up the stands as well. So
yes.
It's not that we separated everything. So, all right, here we go. 6.3 seconds.
See, they got Maxwell Washington in there for defensive reasons here at the end. Inbounding Grip into Brandon Lucas. 4 seconds left. Lucas has it stolen by Wilson. And then the hands of Blaine Hoover on the back of Maxwell Washington leads to the foul being called on Blaine Hoover. And Tyrone's season, with 0.8 of a second left to go, is going to, unfortunately, come to an end, it would appear. Everyone from Tyrone down in the Bedford end. It's Washington by himself down there. It's going to be a 1-on-1 because that was Tyrone's 9th team foul. But still, with 0.8 of a second, and I don't know that they added time back. 1.4. So that is time to make a long pass down the floor, but it's a catch and shoot quick if that does happen. Washington misses the shot. There's Hoover. Hoover's going to take the three-quarter court shot. He almost makes it, and the improbable has happened at Tyrone. And it took a little while. It was like a delayed reaction from the Bedford fans, realizing that their team has defeated the Tyrone Golden Eagles, and they join their players on the floor. The final in this evening's game, ending the season of the Tyrone Golden Eagles. It was Bedford 62 and Tyrone 60. We'll be back to wrap everything up after this. You're listening to Golden Eagle Basketball on 96.9 and 100.7 WTRN.
It's income tax time. But it's a great time to get a used car, truck, or van at Tyrone Tire and Automotive. You already know Tyrone Tire and Automotive is the place to go for vehicle repairs and maintenance. But did you know they have a great selection of used vehicles at awesome prices? And they service what they sell, so you can buy with confidence. Check out their inventory on Facebook or just stop by at 5267 Pleasant Valley Boulevard. Now, how do you feel about income tax time? Yay! Your next vehicle is waiting for you at Tyrone Tire and Automotive. When it comes to harvesting timber in Central PA, one name comes to mind: Justin Reeder. Justin Reeder is a well-established timber harvesting company based in Tyrone, specializing in quality timber harvesting, firewood, timber transport, and residential tree removal, serving Tyrone and surrounding areas. Justin Reeder strives to be the best and provides the best quality services at premium prices for each and every customer. Call Justin Reeder, 814-327-8515, and be sure to visit them on Facebook.
Appalachian Running Company is Altoona's new home for those who love to run. We are passionate about running, just like you, and carry only the best men's and women's running shoes from brands you know and trust. Shoes from Brooks, Hoka, On, New Balance, Saucony, and more. And since there's nothing worse than running in the wrong shoes, we provide a free gait analysis and expert fitting, so you can leave ready to